Hey everybody, here's breaking news. The nonsense continues. Not only in Los Angeles, but now the diseased minds have spread. It's going around the world. Protest in New York, in Chicago. Oh, it's disgusting. These people, like, don't they have jobs? Don't they have something better to do with their lives than get out on the street and cause chaos and just be idiots? Because, I mean, let's face facts here. That's what they're doing. They're getting their 5 minutes of fame. And you know what they need to do? Because they want to get in on their looting. They need to be arrested immediately. They need to bring in the real military. Donald Trump, please sign the order and bring in all of the military and take this shit down. And what I mean by that is stop all these protests in the streets immediately. Because this is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Since when do you people think that you have the right to cause chaos and be the purge all up on our streets? I mean, come on. You guys are the protesters, I mean. Y'all are being just ridiculous. And just so you know, anybody who does this is making me, and I'm sure many others like me, not regret our decision to be okay with the immigration, with the mass deportation. And I've said it before and I'll continue to say it. You guys are protesting to protect you are basically this stemmed off of a raid. Do you want to know who they got out of that raid? 30 gang members. There were, according to the report that I saw, there was like 11 child predators, 30 gang members. It was like ridiculous. These were not nice people. These were not nice men. Okay? They were criminals, and the worst of the criminals. Now, first of all, ICE never just goes someplace. They go someplace with a purpose. They had a warrant, a federal warrant. It could have been real nice, real smooth, real easy. I go in to your jail. You hand me the person we are looking for. We leave. No harm, no foul. You don't help us. You don't assist. We have to go through the streets to get them. Innocent bystanders who may or may not be here illegally. Innocent people who are here illegally, although they are have nothing to do with that warrant, will get swept up. He said that repeatedly. And yet, people like Cory Booker, first of all, the speech you made, I don't know what news person spoke to you, but the speech you made was absolutely appalling. Out of all the Democrats, I thought that you at least had the most common sense. But that has since left my line of thinking because of what you said today. I mean, come on. Democratic leaders, this is worse than any insurrection that happened on January 6th. This is an insurrection times 100. This is a lot worse. And the Democratic leaders, certain Democratic leaders, in my opinion, as an American citizen, helped this happen. You are directly responsible for this because ever since November 5th, ever since before November 5th, we have heard on the news repeatedly about fascists dictator, being referred to as Nazi, and everything else you can think of. And you wonder why this is happening. I think they need to bring in the military, do what do you call that, where the government takes over. Drastic times, drastic measures. Not a police state necessarily, but where they do martial law. Declare martial law right now, Donald Trump, and take over, send in the military, sweep them all up, lock them all up, and gain control of the country again. And then martial law will be undeclared and life can go back to normal. Because you know what? The people that are out on the street doing this, you don't represent America. Especially when you're waving another freaking country's flag. This is America. It's no other country by any other name. So you do not have the right to wave another country's flag and then protest against our laws. You don't like America's laws? There's the border. Get to skipping, Skippy. That's the way I see it anyway. Because, I mean, I saw something majorly disgusting today. I saw somebody on a protest that I think it happened last night, where they tossed the American flag on the ground, lit it ablaze, and several people walked up and spat on it. All those people involved in that should be deported. I don't care where to, but they should definitely be deported, because you do not do that to our flag. There's a symbolism there. I mean, come on. What is wrong with people? Y'all are leading us right to the end times, because Revelation said this would happen. Revelations said that this would happen. And it's happening. Y'all ought to be ashamed of yourselves. Every single one of you that are out there on the streets protesting, causing chaos. Because you're not protesting for peaceful reasons. You're not protesting at all. The only thing you're doing is causing chaos on the streets and making us wish they would sweep you all up and end it all. Because it's ridiculous. Anybody causing chaos and destroying streets and looting and throwing things at federal officers need to be arrested, charged heavily. And actually spend time in jail. Actually have to spend years behind bars. They charged the January Sixers with, I think some of them got 6 years or better or something crazy like that. I think these guys should have at least that minimum, if not more, for what they're doing. This behavior is disgusting and it's scary, because then there's no law and order. And if there's no law and order, there is no society. We fall apart. You guys want to go the way the Aztec did? Keep it up. You want to go the way the Egyptians did? Keep it up. I don't know if they went that way or not, but their societies didn't last too long. And ours isn't going to last too long either if we keep this nonsense up. Because of some stupid, nonsensical BS. I don't care if you don't like the laws of the country. They're laws. Guess what? You can't go to any other country and do what you are doing and get away with it. You cannot break into another country and demand they let you stay. Some of them, the punishment is a lot worse than ours. Trust me. I think people ought to be thankful if they got to stay in this country that long. And it's not even like they weren't willing to work with you. They even said self-deport will let you come back. And they would have given you a path to citizenship. But no, you didn't want to do that. You wanted to listen to people who don't know what the hell they are talking about. And then you get caught up in a mess that has nothing to do with you because of your leaders, because the leaders in the community you chose to stay in. Like leaders like Gavin Newsom. Leaders like, I don't know, AOC. I'm thinking of Democratic leaders. I like Cory Booker. Just thinking of Democratic leaders who seem to think, people who say statements like, oh, being illegal is not against the law. It's right there in the name. Oh, you wanted to call it undocumented, except it's not. It's illegal. It's always been illegal. In every other country, it's illegal. The point is that there's a way that people should come into this country. And now people are actually acting foolish and acting like it's a civil war. And you know what? You're going to bring in the full arm of the military, and you're not going to like it. And I'm going to sit back and I'm going to start cracking up laughing because it's going to be funny. Because y'all think you're good, you think you're emboldened to destroy stuff and act foolish. But guess what? You're not strong enough to take on the United States military. And Democratic leaders, you guys should have done something different. Instead, you chose this path. Shame on you. I know I won't be voting Democratic. Not now, not ever, probably, unless some serious changes happen. Because this is disgusting. I have never thought I would see the streets of the country that I love so much fall apart so quickly. And people turn around and evolve into animalistic behavior so fast. And what scares me the most is it's now in Chicago, which is close to my kids and my grandchildren. And if my kids and grandchildren get swept up in this mess, oh, this is crazy. Oh, Donald Trump is speaking now. It said breaking news, very important. Shout out to Osmondgold for covering it.
We'll watch the first 5 minutes, but then I'll probably move past it if he's talking about some other stuff. Because it's probably good to see the military thing in general. He's announcing his third term. He should announce his third term on the same day that he declares martial law.
He should declare martial law at this part. I think something big's about to happen.
That's a beautiful sight, and it's a beautiful sight to be with you in a place called Fort Bragg. Can you believe they changed that name in the last administration for a little bit?
What is it?
Well, we'll forget all about that. We'll forget all about it. I want to just say God bless the U.S. Army and God bless the USA. I want to thank so many incredible soldiers and paratroopers, pilots, warriors for
what did they call Fort Bragg before this?
American military might.
It was Fort Bragg, and then they changed it to Fort Liberty.
It's a long time. We have the best. Nobody even comes last, but they just gave me a display. You might be lucky not to see. This is a little scary.
this is some random ass shit.
Beautiful to watch. Let's hear it to the Army Special Operations Command of the 82nd Airborne Division.
They call it Fort
and the
LGBT.
18th Airborne
Is
Corps.
that true?
What a show it was, and what a show it continues to be. And Saturday is
That right there is the greatest military in the world.
Washington, D.C. We know a lot of people do that.
Well, all the branches are the greatest
I think this is
military
just
in the
talking
world.
About the parade and everything. I will say that the intro for this definitely went hard as fuck. Like this is definitely one of the better intros that he's done. Yeah, that's it. And so this is in California.
Oh, it's not about California.
Right now.
All right. All right.
Maybe a
Oh,
little
wait.
Japanese thrown in. But we won the war. We don't celebrate, but we're going to celebrate on Saturday. We're going to celebrate from now on. We're going to celebrate our greatness and our achievements. This week we honor 250 years of valor and glory and triumph by the greatest fighting
North
force
Carolina.
ever to walk the face of
I'll
the
give it
earth.
5 minutes.
United
How about that?
States
5
Army.
minutes.
For 2.5 centuries, our soldiers have marched into the raging fires of battle and obliterated America's enemies. There's never been anything like it. There's never
That's
been
good.
a force like this. And I rebuilt it. I gave you so much money for 4 years. It was crazy. And we just approved our
Oh, goodness.
budget for military operations.
That's great. Come on.
Over $1
Get to the good stuff, please.
trillion. We've never even come close.
Damn. What the fuck? God damn.
But our army has smashed foreign empires, humbled kings, toppled tyrants, and hunted terrorist savages through the very gates of hell. Our
Yes,
soldiers
it has.
do not rest until they win. You
No,
know that
they
better
do
than
not.
anybody. From June
Oh.
1775 to June
Oh.
2025, those foolish enough to challenge America's army have been met with unyielding strength, unbreakable spirit, and unstoppable, overwhelming
Want to do a
force.
text or 10 subs? Appreciate that.
Time and again, our enemies have learned
Yeah,
that
he
if
is
you
orange.
dare to threaten
Definitely
the
orange
American
today.
people, American soldier will chase you down, crush you, and cast you into oblivion. That's what
Amen.
happens, unfortunately.
Oh,
Doesn't sound very nice, but it's true, isn't it?
yes,
The
it
last
is.
sound you ever hear will be the chilling howl of Black Hawks in the dead of night, the thunderous boom of artillery fire, or the ferocious roar of a U.S. Army infantry brigade charging over the horizon. That brigade is going to charge like you've never seen before. Hopefully I can keep you out of that, but if I don't, you're ready. Is that
Yep.
right? If I can keep you out of it, if I keep you out of it, that's okay, but if we need it, you're ready. You know, it's called peace through strength, isn't it? Peace through strength.
That's a good way to look at it.
For
Yeah.
our adversaries, there's no greater
Are we going to
fear
war?
than the
Yeah,
United States
against
Army.
California.
And we
Yeah,
have to wage force
we
anywhere
should.
where, you know, you read different stories about
Overthrow
military-
California. Because that's ridiculous. Now that shit's spreading all over the world. Chicago, New York.
4 weeks, we let him go. Unlike other of your leaders, I let him go, and we had General Raisin King, who's now the head of the Joint
He
Chiefs.
loves saying that, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
I liked
We
him. He
don't
was a
care.
warrior.
Come
He was
on.
a great warrior. Now he's been rewarded for his incredible work. They said it would take 5 years for the
My coffee's getting cold. Hold on.
Someday I'm gonna
Can't have that.
explain that one to me. But it was the television generals that said that. The real
Oh,
generals
sorry,
came
guys.
out and fought, and nobody fought like
And
that.
shout out to Osmondgold again for covering this. Because I know that he, like, generally doesn't wouldn't want to listen to the president talk.
American freedom. This week we remember that we only have a country because we first had an army. The army was first. Like the army was even before the country. You know that, right? 1 year before the country.
Well, that
After
would make sense because that's how you get the
250
country.
years,
Yeah.
we still proudly declare that we are free because you are strong. You are so strong. We're safe because you are brave. America's flag will never fall because America's army will never, ever fail. We're going to fail. Every branch of the armed forces has played a critical role in protecting our nation.
Bragg was changed to
No one
Liberty
has
to
done
root
more
Confederacy in
fighting,
public
leading, and
spaces.
winning than the U.S. Army. Nobody's done more.
Oh,
The Army is
Not
a force.
anymore,
Our combat medals
because
are more
he's
battle
taking
ribbons
it
than
back.
any other service.
He changed it back.
70% of all of the medals of honor. We give away medals of honor all the time at the White House for incredibly brave people. You have 70% of
is it
them.
good? Did the rocket story?
Army soldiers,
Yeah, I
and
think so.
especially our Army paratroopers, truly go all the way. You know that expression, all the way. It's one of your beautiful expressions. As President of the United States, let me express my undying gratitude to our nation for every soldier here today, for every veteran and their families, those incredible families that are with us and all across America, and for every patriot who has worn the uniform over 250 years. Can you imagine that?
No third base.
We
Third
thank you
base.
from the absolute bottom of our
The Army
hearts.
turns 250 in
Few
4 days.
places will be
Yeah.
larger than Army law than where we are gathered today. The one and only Fort Bragg. The one and only Fort Bragg.
He likes saying that because that's
Alright.
its name.
What the hell is he talking about?
But remember, it was only that little brief moment that it wasn't called
Because
Fort
it,
Bragg. It was by the Biden administration.
yeah.
I had nothing to do with it. We got it
Also,
changed.
nobody knows yet.
We said, when I came here numerous times, and everybody, they kept saying Fort Bragg, Fort Bragg. I said,
He's bragging? Yeah.
And I was making
He's on
excuses.
script
I
again?
think I should
Oh, he already said this shit.
He needs to focus.
We won a lot of battles from this place.
Oh,
That's
God.
the way it is. Wasn't even close. When Pete and
Holy
some
fuck.
generals came to see me, I said, not even close. Not even close. This is the
He's
home
Fort Bragging.
of the Green Berets, the Sky Dragons, and the All-American 82nd Airborne. You know what 82nd Airborne is? This is where the GIs who won the Second World War learned to pack their parachutes, push howitzers, and go right into those C-47s with
Sorry
lots
guys,
of
I had
arms
to
and
put
push them
the
right
remote
out those
down
big,
for a second.
beautiful
Get my
holes,
coffee.
wield their bayonets and pry the enemy from the hedgerows of the French countryside.
Just for the record, he's not wrong.
We were there. A lot of people needed us badly. They still do, maybe worse than ever. It was here in the soil that the Army forged, the metal that held.
He does drag on though,
strong and fast
unfortunately.
bone. It was here the mighty paratroopers earned their wings before they rained down death from above to liberate Sicily, Normandy, and even the Netherlands. That's right. We saved the Netherlands.
Anything they feel, those poor guys have to stand there at ease or something, but they're well trained to.
Said with pride, "Sir, I
Be lucky
fight
those guys
for
don't come
Iraq,
to
sir."
the LA riots
That was pretty cool.
because they
That's
will
why
stop the
we
riots.
restored the historic name. This very, very special place. I don't know if it'll be the same place.
I feel like
As a matter of fact, President Trump, send the paratroopers.
And Fort Bragg, it shall
Send 'em,
always
please.
remain. That's never going to be happening again.
okay. I think probably should look at some other stuff in a minute. We'll give him a few more minutes.
And for
but-
a little news for the fake news back there.
Oh,
the
here we
fake
go.
news. Ladies and gentlemen, look at them. Look at them all. Oh, yeah, what I have to put up with.
He gets the whole crowd booming at the fake news.
Oh,
And they're
jeez.
all right. They were very
Oh,
nice.
my
They
goodness.
were impressed with that display, I can tell you that. I think it took them a little by surprise. But for a little breaking news, we are also going to be restoring the names to Fort Pickett, Fort Hood, Fort Gordon,
Good, good,
Fort Brucker,
good,
Fort Polk,
good,
Fort A.P. Hill,
good.
and Fort Robert E. Lee.
Amen. It's about fucking time.
We won a lot of battles out of those forts. It's no time to change.
Exactly.
That's a big one.
Right?
That's the big one.
Because he is the commander in chief of our greatest armed forces in the world.
What's that? Robert E. Lee was the Confederate general in the Civil War.
You never had a crowd this big. That's an honor. You think this crowd would have showed up for Biden? I don't think so.
Oh God, here we go.
I don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong.
Can you talk about the
Maybe I'm wrong.
press?
I want to thank so many great leaders here today, including Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, who's been great. By the way, Pete, thank you.
I don't think there's a whole lot going on with this. I think it's just
Yeah.
talking about some other stuff.
Went through the wars,
Yeah, there's
Yeah, this is okay, guys. I didn't think he was going to talk about that either. But yeah, I thought it was going to be more about. Wait.
No, I don't say the governor of the mayor. I said somebody's paying them, I think. And if they're not, they're just troublemakers. What can I tell you? But I believe somebody's paying them. I mean, I've never seen somebody with a big hammer so professional. Now, they took the bricks away from them. So they say, how do we get in? The military did. How do we get in? And what do we do? They said, I have an idea. Let's break up the concrete. And that's even better than bricks. And that's what happened.
Yeah. You just witnessed an amazing spectacle of flexion on military. What impressed you the most?
I think the total love for the military. I mean, I was with the generals. They're explaining the different maneuvers. And the love they have for the Army and the military is beautiful. They're really great people. And I've never seen anything quite like that. I don't think any other president has either. You know, they really put on a good show. I asked them, did you do that for Biden? They said no. They didn't. I wonder why.
Oh my goodness, he's terrible.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Yes, he is funny. He is a character.
The protest won't mean anything. Last night,
And I always like to get my asmondgold TV in because he is very good. His content is awesome. And you know what? He's a unique character, but he tells you how it is. And I like that.
well, the military will be very heavy for us. I'm very proud to tell you that.
Oh, man.
They might as well turn around. They're wasting their time.
Man, that's crazy, right?
They'll end up in jail for a long period of time. They use weapons, and concrete is a weapon, a dangerous weapon.
And that's exactly it.
Heavier than a brick. And they were dropping it off bridges and throwing it at soldiers and police.
That's nuts.
They're not doing that. You know, I went in my first term. I waited for governors to call in the military, and they didn't want to do it. And I watched Minneapolis and other places burn for a long time. And I said, when are you going to call? When are you going to call? And I said, if I ever do this again, if they're not responsive at the beginning, not at the end. You know, I called
Exactly.
the military in Minneapolis, but it was 7 days. I waited for this guy, the same guy that ran for vice president. He was a very dumb person. He's a very dumb, he's a low IQ individual like many
And
Democrats.
it really doesn't surprise
I
me.
waited for him to call him in. I kept waiting. I called him every day and said, when are you calling him? And finally I called him because I'm not going to wait. They were destroying the city. The whole city was burning down.
And by the way, he's not wrong.
Well, even Senator Fetterman said very strongly that this is horrible what they're doing.
It is.
Democrats are making a big mistake by not talking about it. And I agree with that. I think this is in a league with, and maybe even worse in a true sense, what they're doing is now worse than men playing in women's sports. I think that's a ridiculous thing. Open borders, take a look at open borders. Open borders is what caused it. Many of these people,
He's right.
not all of them, I guess, but many of them came through the Joe Biden stupid open borders.
He's not wrong.
It's very sad to watch this being our country now, with our National Guard and our, fairly low number of Marines. They had no chance.
And I want to say something about that. Somebody said to me, Donald Trump is destroying this country because they were emotionally invested about, they had seen a story about a mother and a child being taken from the mom because the mom's getting deported or something. No, the mother was being arrested. How the fake news covered it made it look like they were being separated. No, the mother was being arrested, and I don't know about you, but I know in my state that if you break the law and you have your children with you, they take your children and you go to jail. You get separated. They don't let your children go with you. Okay? Just pointing that out. I'm not broken the law. I've never been arrested, but I can tell you right now, I'm pretty sure that's how it works. And yeah, this needs to, the whole thing just is stupid. The whole open border thing is just dumb. I mean, it doesn't even make sense because no country has open borders. Do you know what would happen if they did? It would be chaos. It would be like the Ice Age all over again, that time period where people did what they wanted to do, like the Sodom and Gomorrah time. And we know how that turned out.
I know the police in LA. I know the force. They're very good, but they're not allowed to do their thing. They're just not allowed. They're restricted by radical left politics. That's true. Who are pretty
Very true.
A very simple rule of engagement. If they're dangerous, if they're throwing concrete or bricks, if they're spitting in the face of the
What do you
police
do?
or whoever's in front of them,
See,
if
finally.
they're punching people, if they're doing all of the things that you see done for the last 3 nights, that I would say is engagement. We need to keep our city straight. I want to say Los Angeles.
Give him permission. Yes. It's on. Criminals go home. Because they're going to start hitting back.
Because he wouldn't take water. I released the water from the Pacific Northwest, and it came down millions of gallons a day. And it's right there, right now. They'd like to send it back. There's something wrong with these people. All I want in terms of engagement, I just want to see peace. If there's peace, we get out. If there's even a chance of no peace, we stay there until there's peace. And a lot of people are being arrested. The rioters, or whatever you want to call them, they better know. A lot of people are being arrested. They're going to be in jail for a long time.
Amen. Arrest them all. And shout out to asmondgold TV for always covering the hottest topics of the day. Thank you, asmondgold TV. He is awesome in his reporting of the facts because he tells you how he feels about it and he doesn't hold back. That I like. Anyway, don't forget, check out him, like and subscribe. And don't forget, check out my channel as well. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Sorry about that. Get ready for bed. Like and subscribe for more fun. And have a wonderful night, guys. Stay safe out there. Everybody's lost their minds. There's people rioting in New York City now, in Chicago, in LA, just everywhere. And you know what? Maybe the aliens need to come down and just abduct all of those people and just take them away. Because just imagine if all those troublemakers were gone from society, everything would be peaceful again. And if everything's peaceful, well, there's probably no ICE raids going on. There's probably no, you know. Anyway, there's that. So anyway, that was Trump Speaks, very important, asmondgold TV. And I wanted to shout out asmondgold. As I said, like and subscribe. And don't forget, like and subscribe with me. And I'll check you guys later. Don't forget, God loves you. So do I. Peace, guys. See you tomorrow.